I'm sorry it's been a while, you guys. I've had a lot of work to do for my classes. Semester ends on Tuesday the 5th, but I'll still have finals for about a week after that. Then I'll have all the time in the world up until mid-January. So, the Angus T. Jones debacle. Let's quickly go about that. Chances are, and I think this is the best option, 2.5 Men is going to end after this season. And I think that's the best thing for it, because it just has not been up to par since Charlie Sheen left. I'm not a big Charlie Sheen fan. Granted, I like his acting roles. I like the way he performs his roles. I might not like him exactly as a person. As a person, he seems kind of uneven. He seems to be trying to get his life back together at this point, so I commend him for that. As for Angus, I'm not sure what to... This is a doozy. I mean, Lorre can't truly... Chuck Lorre can't truly afford... No, wait. Not Chuck Lorre. Charles Levine. Levine cannot afford to lose another star. Lead star of his show. So therefore, chances are if Angus refuses to film any further, CBS is going to have no choice but to either can him or pull the plug. And they can't can him because he's under contract until the season ends. Then again, I'm not entirely certain of what the circumstances were in which they were able to can Sheen. So I suppose they could try and use the same loophole in order to expel Angus from the cast. And if they say they want to continue the show after the 10th season ends, whether it ends prematurely or not, and they dismiss Angus and need somebody else to fill his role instead. Levine had suggested that he hinted at bringing back Kathy Bates to play Ghost Charlie again. Why not bring Bates on as a regular on the show? I mean, seriously, have this may actually be comedy gold, or maybe the most crazy idea in the entire world. Have Charlie come back as the woman played by Kathy Bates, and have him have to try and adjust to life as a woman now, and as penance for his past sins when he was a man. And so at the same time, you can't deny the fact that he may be in a woman's body, but he's still a man in his mind. So now he has to pretend to be either bisexual or a lesbian in order to be able to be with women again. I think that'd be pretty funny. That could be comedy gold, depending on how Kathy Bates would end up playing it. And also, like, if they were to have Rose, played by Melanie Lewinsky, come on, like, walk into the house or something, and then the moment she sees him for the very first time, she immediately goes, "Charlie?" Like, she knows it's him right away. She doesn't need any explanation. She doesn't need any hints. She just sees Kathy Bates as Charlie and knows he's Charlie. I think that would be hysterical. And that way they'd be using the character for something good. They'd be bringing back the character we all know and love, and we'd finally get to see the show return to its former glory. And then, for the purpose of Half Man, I guess you could consider it so as to keep the title 2.5 Men. I guess Alan's still a man. Walden still a man, I guess. I guess when Jake was on the show, Angus was on the show as Jake, you can consider it him still half a man. No, you don't really consider him half a man anymore. You consider Walden more half a man because he acts more like a child rather than an adult. I mean, yes, Jake is as dumb as a child, but at the same time, he thinks more like an adult. To a certain extent, to a certain degree. And so in this case, then, Charlie can become, who was formerly a man, can now be half man. Half the man. Because he's a man in a woman's body. Goes back to my favorite episode of the show. One of my favorites. It's from the first season, An Old Flame with a New Wick, where Chris O'Donnell guest starred as one of Charlie's former lovers, now having become a man. And then developing a relationship with Evelyn, Charlie's mother, Holland Taylor. That, oh my god. That was the episode that I thought, this show, it's unbelievable. It did lose steam over the years, but at the same time, it truly was with the beginning of season 9 that it just started going downhill. It just truly did not hold the same charm, the same enjoyment, the same pleasure. And also, I know that they disposed of Charlie when they fired Sheen, but at the same time, bringing him back will help bring the show back, in a way. Gonna give it kind of another renaissance, you ask me. Then also, I mean, I thought by suggesting that Rose had killed Charlie when she said that he slipped off the metro platform when they were in Paris, that ruined her character. And I was very disheartened by that. So here's to hoping that they'll write it in that she didn't actually kill Charlie. That he literally did slip and that they didn't take her word for it because they know her history, the history of her mental illness. Going back to Rose's mental illness also, the episode from the second season titled I Always Wanted a Shaved Monkey. That was the episode that involved Charlie and Ellen are getting along, and Charlie ends up getting angry about and frustrated about Evelyn giving him a hard time over the phone about something. And then Berta, making him frustrated when he deals with her. Making him feel like inadequate in his role as her boss. Something along the lines of that. And so then Alan, he's just legally powerless against Judith taking advantage of forcing him to pay alimony all the time to her and child support and not using it for what exactly it's intended to be used for. He says that the class trip that she's making him pay for should be covered under Jake's child support. She says, no, it's not. And then, as a result, they displaced their feelings of anger toward the woman that are harassing them, and they end up taking it out on each other. Rose attempts to mediate them. She mediates those problems from when they were a child. Anybody can see that they're displacing their anger toward each other because they're safe targets toward each other. There's no damage that's going to be done with them fighting with each other. And especially since they're brothers, and brothers are known to fight. Me and my brother fight all the time. Not all the time. We used to fight all the time. Now we fight every now and then. And yeah, so the fact that she couldn't root out that problem. I mean, yes, she claims she has a behavioral... She has a degree in behavioral psychology. What I'm failing to understand is... I'm failing to understand how she couldn't figure out the real problem, the real root of the problem, and instead of just... And it didn't feel like anything got resolved in that episode. So the episode's okay. It's not going to make my top 20, though. I'm predicting that by the time the show's over, unless they attempt what I suggested, and that would really be the best thing other than canning it. Yeah, so there'll be 225 episodes, so 205 of those episodes are not going to make my list, obviously. Because there were 201 episodes by the end of the 9th season, and there were... Well, let's not include the 9th and the 10th seasons. That's 48 episodes we're not... 48, around 48 episodes we're not including. So... And then we're not going to include the unaired pilot either, which had Blake Danner playing Evelyn instead of Holland Taylor. We're going to have... So, with the end of... With the premature or unplanned end of Season 8, the show had a total of 177 episodes, which I believe Charlie Sheen, John Cryer, and Angus T. Jones appeared on all three in every single episode. I think there may have been one or two episodes where Angus was absent, but I don't know. So, I know for certain that Sheen and Cryer appeared in those 177 episodes from seasons 1 to 8. And mainly, when I make up my top 20 list, which will be coming out really soon, I will make my decision for... I think I'll have at least one episode from every season. And then obviously I'll have multiple episodes from different seasons. Come to think of it, a 20 list may not be big enough, but then again, a top 20 list is already big enough as it is. So it doesn't truly need to be expanded any further than that. Unless, of course, the American Film Institute is involved. Then yes, it has to be 50 or 100. No other options. For the record, the reason why I'll do top 20 lists instead of top 10 lists is because when I first came up with the idea that I wanted to make up my list of my own favorite movie heroes and villains, I not only came up with the idea that I would not include any of the heroes or villains that made AFI's list of the 100 greatest movie heroes and villains, the 50 greatest movie heroes, the 50 greatest movie villains. I would only include ones for films I'd seen and ones that were nominated, as in considered, for AFI's lists of the 100 greatest movie heroes and villains. Among the 300 nominees that didn't make it, 300 nominated characters, 150 nominated movie heroes, 150 nominated movie villains. I don't even know if it's that specific. So, yeah, I made a 10 best lists for each. My 10 favorite movie heroes, my 10 favorite movie villains, because I thought 5 was not, if I was doing it the same way if I did, that would mean it'd be 10 movie heroes and villains, that'd be 5 movie heroes, 5 movie villains. And that didn't seem, in all honesty, fair. So that's ultimately why I decided on 10 movie heroes, 10 movie villains. So it was a total of 20 characters that I found notable. And that's when I came up with the decision. I make top 20 lists of all things that I enjoy, whether it be TV shows, movies, such and such. You get the idea. I know it's not as simple as I like to go one step beyond, but that's just how it works. That's how it's going to be. I think I've said everything I need to say. I also plan on making a top 20 list of the best iCarly episodes too, and those episodes are going to probably range from seasons 1 to seasons season 1 to season 3. Because I think there were a few in season 3 that I found worth recognition. More than any of the other episodes in season 3 or seasons 4 to 6. And I'll go into that a little further next time. Until then, live long and prosper. I couldn't think of a better sign off.